Coming up, my conversation with Boy Golden, a Winnipeg-based musician who has just released a new album that is doing so well on the charts. I cannot wait for you to hear our conversation.
Good goddamn, what a masterpiece. Laid out on the street in front of me. Good goddamn, another tragedy. Laid out on the street in front of me.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
It's doing so well.
Yeah, it's really special.
Oh, my goodness. But you are no stranger to releasing music. You were quoted saying before a show in Brooklyn that this one feels like your first.
It does.
Really interesting. What are the nerves about? Is it a nervous, my first, or is it a, like excitement, my first? What is it?
Like both. The plan for this record was always to just do something bigger and to push myself more. And the last 3 things I've released, I've engineered everything mostly myself or with my friends. It's all been super collaborative with my pals in Winnipeg. And I've often been engineering, producing, and sometimes even mixing the songs myself. So
Wow.
I really had to give up a lot of control purposely on this album. And part of giving up that control is giving it to people that I really trust and then pushing myself harder as just the person performing, the artist performing, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I was nervous about that. And it felt like my first time making a record because this is my first time making a record like this.
Right.
Yeah.
How does that feeling differ now on release day then? You know, when the record that you've given up a little bit of control, I would call it, and now it's going out into the world. How's it feeling?
It feels great, and I want to do it again as soon as possible.
Do you?
Yeah,
Get back on the
absolutely.
horse.
Yes.
Let's go. Okay. I want to get to the music. There is a fair bit of Buddhist philosophy and spirituality intertwined in the album. You are a spiritual person. Could I say that?
Yeah, I think of myself that way.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
But it's not just one kind of spirituality that you're into. But I was wondering about Buddhism specifically and what drew you to that and bringing some of that into the music.
The biggest thing that drew me to that was meditation. And I started meditating in my teens, like later teens, but it's something I've kept up through my whole life. It's, become an important and very grounding practice, and it's deepened my experience of living, I think. And then as I've gone through that, I became interested in a bunch of different traditions, lineages, and there's just so many great books to read.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
many great books to read. And so I've taken a lot of that imagery, because some of the books are poems,
Right.
koans, and the Tao Te Ching, not Buddhist, Taoist, but
Yeah.
the Tao Te Ching, I read it all the time. I have several different translations, and definitely a lot of that makes its way into my lyrics. I definitely don't do it consciously. It's just that these images are really powerful. The moon and a dewdrop, or a child, or a river. I don't know. These things just percolate.
I read this poet and he's a philosopher, he's a poet, he's Irish. His name is John O'Donoghue, and he passed away a little while ago. And he has this book called The Anam Cara, which also is like this kind of poetry that kind of gets inside you, and that anything creative that you do, you're thinking of those words. And I feel like this is kind of where you have gone with this album, that it gets right inside you and then it just comes out in this beautiful way.
The beauty of poetry is that it can give words to feelings that you didn't know you had, right?
Yeah.
And it's poetry seems really vague until it's not, and you're like, wow, that is unbelievably specific.
Completely.
Right? And then it gives you actually more vocabulary to better express yourself in your life, better go through your life. There's a reason why we end up listening to poets at weddings and funerals and all the most important occasions. Oh, we don't need poets until you do, until you're getting married, until someone you love has passed away. Then you need those words.
Yeah. They're there for you.
Yeah.
They're right there. We just heard a little bit of Suffer. Tell me about what that means in Buddhism and why it's significant.
I feel like I'm not entirely sure I should be the person doing this, but
Fair enough.
Okay,
fair enough.
It is the first noble truth.
But let's just exactly, right?
Yeah, and so my general perspective and the general feeling behind this song is that suffering is unavoidable. We shouldn't run away and fear it necessarily. I feel like one of our main tasks in life is learning how to deal with it and learning how to lessen our suffering and also, most importantly, lessen the suffering for people around us. And I think I view that as sort of a guiding principle, how I'm trying to live my life and how I'm trying to write.
Yeah.
Trying to write things that hopefully will ease suffering. It first off eases my own, and then maybe can do that for someone else as well. And then I also think it's something that binds us as humans, and more than anything else, we will all experience the same feelings of loss around even just our shifting identities as we grow up. Like, that's one of the ones I come back to. Like, you will lose your childhood self, and you will experience that loss as some kind of grief. Yeah. You know what I mean? And those experiences really, really bind us as humans.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's what might be tapping into why so many people are listening to this right now and loving it.
A little like a child, I love you. A little like a child, I keep you close. A little like a child, I love you. You only tell me what I want to know.
Another song that feels a little philosophical as well. Could you tell me what was on your mind when you wrote that one?
I remember writing it. I was in my living room, and I do think that this one came from an idea from the Tao Te Ching about being. There's one verse in there about the power of children, the power of being weak, of being flexible, the power of really needing other people to live. You know, there's something in that too of when you are a child, you need someone to love you and to take care of you, and we still do, right? But as you get older, you might start to push that away. Yeah. And so I think I was just thinking about obstacles that you meet in your life. Like I sometimes say, if you're on the river, you're going to end up hitting rocks, and you can kind of have two choices. You can stiffen up, and you might hit that rock, and then the river might flow around you, and the life keeps going on, but you're stuck here, stuck on this rock. And the only way that you're going to get around the rock is by softening and then moving around it. And the more you practice that, then the rock maybe erodes, right?
Right.
Smooth, like a river rock. And so I was thinking about that, I think.
Just that
little concept. Yeah.
Tiny little thing.
I sometimes don't know how much of this stuff I make up afterwards, to be honest, to be like, I've got to explain this song somehow, but that's my explanation.
I love it. We're going to go with it.
I love it.
It works for me. It totally works for me. The name, your name, Boy Golden, you've written and performed under other names. I wonder about this name and what it's given you. I think I might have read somewhere that you said it gave you space to create, perhaps, free of self-scrutiny and insecurities. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I feel like when you are writing as, say, my real name, Liam Duncan.
Yep. A good Irish name. Yeah. I think that's why I brought up the Irish philosopher. I was like, I had Ireland in the head. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
My family's ancestry is Scottish, but the name is very...
So Irish.
Yeah. When the songs are so attached to my, like, very literal personhood, it just feels like I can't have as much fun with it. In a way. I sometimes think it's fine to fictionalize your life story. That's part of what you do as a writer. You make and that's what we do as humans. You make a story out of the things that happen to you, and this is the story you're telling yourself. And then for me, this is the story I'm telling the world. So I kind of want Boy Golden to just have some freedom to be like, cool. Yeah. Cooler than I am.
I can't imagine that. Like... but they do speak to each other.
They do, and I think the longer I've gone about just writing as much as I can and trying to be Boy Golden, the lines have gotten blurred, and I actually think a lot of that is just I have overcome some of those insecurities over time. And maybe that was the whole point. Yeah.
Is there a lyric on this album that's like, that's Boy Golden talking right there? That's,
yeah, for sure.
Is there? Tell me, can you recall one?
I mean, all of the song Bad Habits is just about all these like bad habits. And I still have some of them, but I don't have all of them, you know?
I think that's a good place for us to play a little Bad Habits.
Sure.
All right.
Told a little white lie. Who couldn't let a dead dog die? Who couldn't swallow his own pride? Who put this thorn in my side? Bad habits. Who couldn't tell him no?
I feel like Boy Golden's got a lot of swagger.
Boy Golden has way more swagger than Liam, that's for sure. Yeah.
Like super confident,
Yeah.
just out there, just letting it fly. I love it. I love it. Do you feel like that confidence is a hat that you can put on, or is it now become a part of Liam as well?
It's still something I can step into, honestly. And when I step on stage, and I like playing a little dress up,
Yeah.
you know, I step on stage in Boy Golden garb, and I feel that way. And then sometimes when I'm at home and just writing songs and making demos, I get into that space, and it's just really, really fun.
Yeah. Bad habits. I got to ask you about those habits.
Sure.
Like what were you working out?
I wrote that song on my 27th birthday
Okay.
because I was just thinking, like, about we've all got bad habits, right?
Sure.
But the funny thing about bad habits is sometimes you feel like you don't really want to give them up, right?
Why? You know what? The question is, why do I have to?
Yeah, exactly.
Who says I should? Who says I have to?
Exactly. And
Right?
it's like, why did I make this a part of my identity?
Right.
Why is this some sort of foundational element of myself? It makes no sense. This is not good for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Of course. Well, you know what? That song is going to have to be something that I just like lock into, because I mean, I feel like you with this album are in this state of working stuff out, right? Using your art to kind of work it out, but put it out into the world so that we can all connect with it. Is that too lofty, thinking of making music that way?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
No?
perfect. I really feel like if you're making art, like, you should share your art.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone else what to do, but I do tell my friends to do that.
Yeah.
When they make beautiful things, I'm like, you got to put this out. Like, it is so good. And some people will say, oh, I'm just going to put it out and just my friends and family will hear it. I'm like, well, great. That's where this whole thing started. People would write songs. People would learn songs so they could sing them to their friends and family. That's like the whole point. And that's still the point, you know?
Yeah. There was something that stuck out to me in your artist statement for this record. You said, more times than I can count, I have written something that has predicted my future in some way. Can you give me an example of that happening to you?
Yeah, I believe this deeply. That
Okay.
if you're writing from the heart and you're writing very in the moment, and you maybe don't, I never really start with a concept, so I just let myself write. And the things that will come up will be, might not really know what this line is about, but you'll be like, this line is right. And then 6 months later, you'll be like, oh my God, this literally happened. So, I mean, my first example of that was I was very in love, and I wrote a song called Smoke on the Breeze. And for some reason, it's not very often, it sounds sort of like self-indulgent, but whenever I'd listen to it, it would make me cry. And I didn't know why. It would just make me really emotional, like give me a really nostalgic feeling. And I was like, why? This is just like a pure love song. And then I realized, like, later on, oh, the whole thing's written in past tense. And the whole thing is about actually a love that was coming and going, like smoke on the breeze.
Right.
Right? And I was like, that's what this song is about. And so when I wrote it, it was like the relationship wasn't meant to be longer. It was beautiful just the way it was. And it was always going to come and go. And I didn't know that at the time, but whenever I listened to the song, some part of me knew that. And that just, I feel like that happens to me all the time.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird, but it's great. Like it's like a bit of a superpower for yourself.
Maybe.
Well, it feels
it
like
can feel
that.
like a blessing and a curse too, because I definitely on each one of the albums that I have made, there has been at least a couple songs where I end up having to, I write the song and I'm like, oh man, Now I'm going to have to talk about this part of myself that I didn't really want to talk about, whether that's my like sexuality or something like that. That I'm like, I didn't really want to talk about this. I didn't really even want to analyze this part of myself. Now here I am writing a song about it that's really good. I like this song. This has to go on my next album. Frustrating.
It's frustrating. And now it's out in the world.
Yeah.
Now I have people listening to it.
Totally.
But that's great.
It's great. I mean, everyone makes different kinds of music for different things. And,
Yeah.
it would be simpler maybe for me if I made music that was not so deeply connected to my life. But that's how it is. That's how I do it.
Do you have a song that's like that on this album?
Not really. I don't really have a song like that on this album because I think I have become much more honest with myself in my day-to-day life. And so I feel like I have a lot less to hide.
Oh.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Pretty good, but also still hard often.
Yeah. I'd love to hear more about the title of the album.
Sure.
What is it about?
Okay.
What inspired it?
Actually, the closest it would come to a song that I didn't really want to have to put out would be the title track of the album, Best of Our Possible Lives.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a tough love song, that one. Like, literally, it's kind of tough love. Like, it starts out with, don't complicate my life. Don't bring me down to your size. I want to live under clear blue skies. Don't complicate my life. But the song is a love song, ultimately. The second verse is like, don't complicate. I don't like to compromise with my wild and lonely life. And then the last, it makes it up. It's like, so come on with me where you will. Eat and sing and drink your fill. That's how I feel about love, is that I don't want to have to compromise too much of myself because I also don't expect that of the other person. I want them to be very full of their own life and whatever they want to do. We only have this one. So I don't want you to make these compromises for me that you don't need to. I can love you from a distance. I can love you from wherever I am. You know what I mean? Whether that's a friend or a lover or whatever. So that's what that song is about, fundamentally. The song title and the album title was inspired by a Chris Christopherson song, Best of All Possible Worlds.
Okay.
And that is a great song. Everyone should go listen to it. And his idea came from an old philosophical concept that was made up by a German philosopher named Leibniz. I'm probably screwing that up.
Okay, that's okay if you are. I'm not here to judge.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that philosophical concept made its way down through the sort of Voltaire talked about it and argued about it.
Boy Golden, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so fun.